So this is actually the next topic. The first topic of the podcast is going to be the first clip on the YouTube channel. So I'm recording this right now. This is pretty fun. So we have to talk about Jake Paul. We have to talk about YouTube boxing. But it's not really only YouTube boxing anymore. It's literally boxing. The only thing holding boxing on by a thread is YouTube boxing, and it happens to be Jake Paul. And I'm not the biggest fan of Jake Paul, but I cannot talk any more shit about this guy. This is a fact right now. He is the biggest prize fighter, the only prize fighter making any kind of money in boxing is Jake Paul right now. Jake Paul is the money fight in boxing right now. That is no word of a lie. It is 100% factual. Until Floyd Mayweather comes back and fights Logan Paul, he'll be the highest paid prize fighter. But right now, Jake Paul is shitting on everyone who does boxing. He's shitting on everyone. I have a bunch of notes here to talk about. The main thing was obviously Jake Paul memed Ben Askren, okay? Nowadays, there is nothing worse than being turned into a meme. That is the worst thing that can possibly happen to you. And if you have kids and you get turned into a meme, how does Nate Robinson feel? His kids going to school and they're making fun of their dad because he got knocked out by a YouTuber. That probably hurts. But Ben Askren was fucking memed, okay? And he says he doesn't care, but something like that has got to fuck you up inside. You can't just not care with the amount of shit that will be talked about you. There's nothing worse than being turned into a meme. Absolutely nothing. But I guess the one thing to talk about that is there was so many bad reviews by Triller, the app which is a rival to TikTok, hosting the boxing event. And apparently it was just so shit. The quality was terrible. They had a bunch of live performances and it went on for way too long. It didn't make any sense. They said there'd be a boxing match, then there'd be a live performance and someone would sing 5 songs or even more. The gap was way too big. It didn't make any sense. And I read something or heard in another podcast that there was a DJ fighting a boxer. Like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that about? That doesn't make any sense to me. It really does not make any sense, okay? But other than that, I didn't hear about any other single fight on the Jake Paul card. I heard about no other fight. I have no clue who else was fighting on that card. If anyone knows, comment down below, because I have no clue who the fuck was fighting any boxers. Only videos I've seen were Ben Askren getting memed by Jake Paul, okay? And I do have one thing to say. There's a lot of people saying, yeah, Jake. He hasn't fought a real boxer. He fought a YouTuber. He fought a basketball player who looked like he never been in his fight in his life. And people are going to Jake Paul telling him he has to go, the next step, he has to go and fight a boxer. And I'm telling you this right now, that is the stupidest thing he should do. He should, everybody else's opinion, shove it up their asses. That's what I would say to him. And I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but they're telling him you got to go and fight a boxer. And you might lose, okay? You might lose. The only thing he has to do is pick a bunch of other athletes. Jake Paul has to go and box basketball players, baseball players, American football players. I don't know if these people could box. People that don't have a background in boxing and meme them and make a shit ton more money. Why would he choose to fight an actual boxer who can beat him and lose everything? It makes no sense. And you see, if he chose to fight an actual boxer who could supposedly beat him, the pay-per-view buys aren't going to be that high. They're not going to be that high at all. So it doesn't make any sense. If he goes and fights an actual boxer that could beat him, the only one I could think is Ryan Garcia, but he couldn't even generate that much pay-per-view buys. So there's no fucking point. If Jake Paul is in this for money. I don't know if he really wants to be a boxing champion, and if he boxes Conor McGregor, we can go down a big wormhole of that, but I think it's a bunch of bullshit. But there is literally no point for Jake Paul to go and fight an actual boxer. There's no fucking point. It would end everything. There's no point. It's just fucking dumb. It's just fucking dumb. But do I have anything else to talk about that? Oh yeah, this is fucking nuts. Okay, I gotta stop cursing. But he broke records. He jumped into the top 10 most bought pay-per-view boxing events at 1.3 or something million fucking dollars. Okay, he is tied with Mayweather for his lowest pay-per-view buy fight. That's fucking nuts. A YouTuber is the number one prize money fight in boxing right now. He shits on any other boxer. It's kind of terrible to think about all these people that have been boxing for 20 years and they'll never see the money Jake Paul made. And if you listen to, here's the thing. This is what's insane. No other boxer, whether it's Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Muhammad Ali, or Mike Tyson, made $1 million within their first 3 fights. Jake Paul made multi-million dollars within his first 3 boxing matches as a professional. Jake fucking Paul, a YouTuber. Can you actually believe that shit? Because I'm trying to wrap my head around all this. But here's the thing. I'm going to end all this. I probably won't. I'll talk about it a bit more. There's nothing worse nowadays than being memed, and Ben Askren was memed, okay?